Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd. So I saw Teen Titans Go to the movies. Teen Titans Go is always an interesting thing to talk about on the internet. I feel like more people are understanding the show or understanding what it's about and what it's supposed to be and not getting so hung up on the nostalgia of the original Teen Titans series, which is a good show, so I understand. But you know, Teen Titans Go can sometimes still be that thing where some people are like, oh, you know, Teen Titans Go, how dare they make it all jokey and whatever and talk about waffles. I remember that original show. I get it. But you know what? I've watched Teen Titans Go, and some of the episodes I've seen were really funny and referential and smarter than I would have expected for a show like this. And then there's some episodes that are just for the kids. I understand. You're on Cartoon Network. You do what you do. So I saw Teen Titans Go to the movies. Didn't really have high expectations about it. Just like, well, let me see what the movie version of Teen Titans Go will be like. This might be one of my favorite movies of the summer. Don't at me, bro. I freaking love this movie. What happened? They got me. The star, the fire, the live, the wire, the alien princess in her alien attire. Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna apologize for this. I'm not gonna try to appease any group that is pro or anti Teen Titans Go. You do you. If you have no interest in this movie because you are so like, I don't care about Go because I'm on that original OG stuff, that is fine. You are allowed to have your opinion. And anything I say is probably not going to influence you one way or another to change that opinion, and that is okay. You are allowed to think the way you want to think. But for everyone else who wants to listen, let me tell y'all something. I know it seems weird to say this. There's some funny stuff in this movie. Is there the usual Teen Titans Go stuff? Yeah, there's some poop jokes. There's some potty humor. There's the kiddie stuff. And, you know, the little kids that were in the audience were like, ah. But there was also people in the audience that were like my age or a little bit younger or a little bit older comic book fans. Like I even saw a couple people wearing DC shirts. And I'm glad they were there because when I was laughing out loud at stuff, thinking I was going to be alone in that laughter, they were laughing too. Because this movie is freaking funny. Particularly the first half. The first half is really strong. There were like beat after beat, joke after joke where I was finding myself laughing at everything. To the point where I was even questioning myself. I'm like, am I on some DC delirious right now? Have I been so burned by movies of the past that even the subtle joke in Teen Titans Go to the movie makes me go, that's hilarious. But no, it kept happening. And then other people I was hearing talking about after the movie were also saying how much fun they had. And then people who saw the movie not with me but saw it themselves were texting me going, Andre, I got something weird to say. I saw Teen Titans Go to the movies and I thought it was hilarious. And I was like, oh, me too. I thought the same thing too. It's like this really weird thing that like nobody wants to be the first to admit that this movie was good. But once one person admits that movie was good, then everyone's all like, oh, I'm so glad you said that. I know that's how it is right now with the internet. Everyone's always like, oh, let me check everyone else's reviews before I give my own opinion because god dang, how dare I have a different opinion than anyone else in the entire world. But it's nice to be able to say, hey, I thought this movie was good and have at least one person nearby go, I agree. And I go, good. Man, dude, seriously, the references, the meta humor and the referential humor about DC, about Marvel, about superhero movies in general, just everything gets lampooned in this. Warner Brothers, I respect you on this one because y'all were making some jokes about yourselves that I wouldn't even think that you would make about yourself, and you kind of did, and I respect you for that. And I'm pretty sure there was probably some executive at Warner Bros. Was like, you can't make that joke about us, but whoever got him drunk one night and got him to agree to some of those jokes, good job. Clearly the people that worked on this movie are fans of superheroes because they just had so many good references in this. Just like even some deep cut obscure stuff that you wouldn't even think a movie like this would make references about. Even if you're just looking in the background, they have these shots where it's just a bunch of superheroes and you can look around and see like who's in the shot. There's these stores and buildings and signs in the background that have funny things written on them that are superhero based. It's just that meta humor that's done in the right way where it's not just, hey, here's a reference, but it's like how they can have fun with the characters and the scenarios that these superheroes have. They actually incorporated a lot of it into the story, into the movie. You could have just made a 1 hour, hour and a half episode of your show and probably would have made the same amount of money. But the fact that you made this extra effort to really get the DC universe into this thing as much as they are, as well as maybe some other characters that you wouldn't even think would be referenced or mentioned or even show up. There's somebody that shows up in this movie and I was like, whoa, okay. This some Roger Rabbit stuff going on right now. There's even a reference to another popular movie franchise, one that has not been rebooted yet, but is still very popular, including using music from that franchise in the movie. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And it also leads to one of the darkest jokes. Not dark like you can't watch it, but when you really put it together, there's a joke that happens, and the whole time that they were leading up to the joke, I was like, they're not gonna do this, right? They're not gonna do this. I mean, that's some really dark thing that happened in comic book lore, a thing that everyone knows that happens with a certain character, and y'all not gonna make a joke about that. Oh, they just did. Oh, wow. And they had some fun music underneath it to make it seem like, oh, we're being silly and jokey, but I was like, nah, Teen Titans Go, that was dark. That was freaking dark. I'm laughing. I shouldn't be, but you got me on that one. Damn, Teen Titans Go. The voice cast, of course, is great in this. And kudos to the movie for giving the voice cast top billing. Because there's a lot of celebrity voices in this. There's a lot of celebrities that voice the superheroes. Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman. They're all voiced by celebrities. But the movie never makes a big deal about it. The only names that they show in the end credits as top billing are Will Arnett and Kristen Bell. Before they even show those names, they show the names of the voice cast. And then all the other celebrities are just in the regular credits. So respect on you for respecting the voice cast, because they're a great voice cast. They do great with the dialogue, and there's some songs they have to sing in this movie, and that is really good. Tara Strong can spit bars, y'all. I've listened to the soundtrack since I've seen the movie. There's some 80s style music that really got me. This movie even does a good EDM dubstep joke. And here's a weird thing that I never thought I would say as a compliment to a Teen Titans Go movie. The animation is really good in this. And I know what you're thinking, like, whoa, Andre, okay, now you're drinking the Kool-Aid. The animation in Teen Titans Go is very simplified, and that is true, and it has that same style in the movie, but you can tell that even though it's still simplified, you can see a little bit more of the fluid animation in that. But in addition to that, the movie also finds various moments throughout the course of the film to do different animation styles with Teen Titans Go. So you get like a chibi fun style, you get like a paper cut, like stop motion style for a moment. There's even a scene in this movie where, I don't want to call anybody out, but I'm going to just say that someone from the Walt Disney Corporation is going to be checking to see what some of their animators were doing at night. I think a couple of y'all did some night work, did some moonlighting on this movie for a particular scene, because, wow. I'm telling y'all, I know this sounds crazy. I'm thinking I'm crazy. Like, I had to have a conversation with myself. I saw this movie like 3-4 days ago, and it was literally me pacing around my own home for several days going, am I right about this? Am I losing my mind? I mean, I've never been a Teen Titans Go hater. I thought that some of the hate the show gets is a little too much, but even still, I'm like, but it is for who it is for. So why am I seeing this movie and going, this is for me? The movie's not perfect though. The plot is very simple, very predictable. There's a character who has a name in this that has a twist later, but as soon as you hear the character's name, you're like, okay, got it. There are some running gags that are funny to see come back again, and there's a couple other running gags that you're like, okay, you're just kind of in there to make sure that this movie gets past an hour and a half to be considered an actual film. And no offense to Will Arnett, I think his voice was a great voice to be Slade, and I think he also was one of the producers on this film as well. I thought Slade could have been a little bit more serious. I mean, he's mostly serious, but he does kind of the humor jokey style too. And if the whole idea with this movie was that the Teen Titans, they needed to have a strong villain so they could be seen as proper superheroes like everyone else, to the point where they could get their own movie, in joke thing there. And Slade is supposed to be like this villain that's like, well, I don't want to deal with you because you're jokey and silly, but then he's also sometimes jokey and silly, so I think it would have worked better if he was a little bit stronger. And the only other thing that makes me feel weird about this movie is that everything they did is like retro or old school was like 80s. So that made someone feel old. Whatever. I'm hip now. I'm hip with the Teen Titans. What? Mr. Meatball Disaster. What? But the overall thing about this movie that I like about it is that it was a constant reminder to not take this stuff too seriously. I get it. There are comic books or superheroes or characters that you have grown up with, that I have grown up with, that are very special and important to you. You have a deep connection to it with your nostalgia or just your passion or fandom. So it's understandable to really get riled up and get into debates and arguments about these types of things. But this movie is a constant reminder that, yeah, but come on. At a certain point, you have to just go, this is fantasy. this is escapism and enjoy it for what it is. And that this movie can not only do that, but also do it in a way that's funny and comedic and a little bit of a parody and a little bit of satire of not only themselves, but of the superhero world in general. It's fun. It's really fun. Not every movie can do this, and that's not something I want to see on a regular basis, but I do think that Teen Titans Go, oddly enough, was the right franchise to do something like this. It worked for me. That's how I feel, and I want to see it again. I freaking enjoyed this thing, man. I really, really did. Teen Titans Go to the movies took me to the movies. I have not been happy about a cartoon with go to the movies in the title since the Chipmunks Go to the Movies. That's a deep cut. That's the kind of humor that you can expect from Teen Titans Go to the Movies. And yes, there's a mid-credit scene that you probably want to stick around and see, even though you probably have already been spoiled by it, like I have through several posts on the internet. But yeah, there's a little surprise if you have been all like, where's my, you know who's. But all I'm saying is it's a very big hint. So Warner Brothers, DC, you better follow through on that. Don't give this tease that you gave and then come up with some like, oh, we're just talking about like a little short we're gonna do, or like a special episode crossover thing. No, you pretty much put in people's head that something is coming back. You now gotta bring it back. I know you got that streaming service. I'm just saying, maybe don't put your eggs in that live action basket of some characters and go back to that animated basket of them. Why you starting stuff, Andre? Do you have a movie like that? Is there a movie that you just absolutely love, but every time you tell somebody, they go, what? That movie? Let me know what that movie is in the comments. And if you like me going insane talking about movies, subscribe. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Howdy 5000.